Hello. It's another hub day. And oh my goodness gracious. No, oh Lord. I just looked out on the porch and the sandhill cranes are parading in front of Lily and they're literally about 3 feet away. Hi, Safia. Hi, Kathy. I just saw your lunch. And Lily is chittering as cats do. That sandhill crane would poke your eyes out. Yes, they would. I hope you guys are well. I started to say, I thought I saw Kathy's post with her beautiful steaming, look like chicken frittatas and stuff. Hi, Melody. I'm glad you love your hobbies. I do too. It feels funny to be back in the driver's seat, so to speak. I am tired. I am beat. Cruises are wonderful, but tiring. I have to say that everything went off without a hitch. We had pre-registered, so we had boarding passes. Hi, Belinda, like you would have boarding passes, like you would have for a flight. And but even with all of that, when we were going through, we had to go through security again, and at that point they took pictures of us. Once again, they took pictures of us as we looked right then and there. And I think I mentioned this on Sunday stream that I was standing next to Callum, and the woman said to Callum, "Who is this?" And he said, "Anne." He didn't say Granny Annie. He said Anne. And then they asked Reed who he was standing next to, and he said Dad. Anyway, so that was funny. And they had our pictures taken. And then we walked up the gangplank. They don't call it a plank anymore. They call it a gangway. Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, we were sitting next to a couple, and you tell them that when we were coming into the main dining room, I told the maitre d' that it was Callum's birthday. And as Callum walked by, he said, "Happy birthday, Callum," because Callum's like, "What? How did he know?" So, but after they came to our table and sang happy birthday to Callum, the couple next door, I guess the husband went and spoke to somebody because a couple of minutes later, they came by with a cake and a candle celebrating their third anniversary. So just let them know, and they will do something special for you. Um, Again, we did a lot and a lot we didn't do. There's a lot of things we could have done that we just didn't. The boys didn't really want to. They really had a great time just exploring the ship. And we let them go off on their own as long as they stayed together. And Reed's 13 and Callum turned 11. And we hit all 24 ducks. And we found 3. No, I didn't. I brought my sewing with me. I carried it around. I had all intentions of going out on the deck, out on the balcony, and doing some slow stitching, and never got to it. That's not true. On Coco Cay, which is an island in the Bahamas that I think Royal Caribbean owns, and that's where they have the water park and snorkeling and zip lining and all that stuff. We set up our towels and everything on chase lounges under an umbrella, and I intended to do that while they were off doing their thing, right? It was so friggin' hot. Even though I was kind of under an umbrella, I am a sweater. I perspire, and I was drenched. And I even had a bandana with me to wipe the sweat off my brow, literally. And at one point I did get out a lot of fabric, laid it out, and then Reed had come back, and I said to Reed, I'm just going to go back to the ship. I just can't handle the heat. There was hardly any breeze. So the heat was a real factor. And it should have been. I mean, I'm live in Florida, but I don't spend a whole lot of time. It actually, in terms of Florida weather, it was probably about 85, 86 on Coco Cay. Um, Here where I am, it's been in the 90s, over mid 90s all week. But I'm in air conditioning. The rooms were icy cold, and of course you could adjust that. But yeah, I think everybody had a good time. Um, Again, there were a lot of things that we just didn't do because, well, we didn't feel like it, and that's the point of it. You do what you want to do, but the options were certainly there. But if you wanted to do a lot of things, then you really had to adhere to a very strict timetable to get all that stuff in, and that kind of takes away from the laid back vacation. There was a show that was at 8 o'clock, but that interfered with our dinner because we had signed up for dinner whenever on our time, not the set, dinner times. So, and dinner takes about an hour and a half or so because there is an appetizer course, there's a main entree course, and there's a dessert course. And so that all takes time. And of course, we were not finished in time to go off to this show. So you have to look at every day there's a menu or a calendar that tells you what's available and at what time. And then a lot of the stuff ended up being paid. Like there was one that we signed up for to decorate cupcakes, but it turned out it was $30 a piece to decorate cupcakes. And we figured that was not quite worth it. Callum could decorate cupcakes at home. But there was the rock climbing. Yeah. I know. I agree. Yeah. And the internet worked. I had some glitches with the internet. Well, the first thing I did, I forgot to bring my phone charger. And there's no like little shop on board where you can buy those kind of things. So I was without a phone almost immediately, but fortunately I had my iPad and my iPad charger. But then I had to transfer my internet account from my phone to my iPad. And that was a pretty complicated process, but it worked. And then I had to call customer service and I said, I'd forgotten my password or whatever I had used to sign in. And she said, it's your email. I said, okay. And then I typed in my email and it worked. I was able to stream from the balcony on Sunday. I don't know how clear it was, but we were literally in the middle of the ocean. We were 2 hours out from Nassau in the Bahamas. And it was a Starlink satellite, and Starlink satellites are Elon Musk. I do believe he owns that. So I gathered every little piece of paper, menus, all things like that. So I'm going to, build that into a travel journal, add all those bits and pieces, print out some of the pictures. I didn't take a whole lot of pictures. My son did. I'm just not, and it's hard to take pictures with an iPad. And it's pretty awkward because it's kind of big and clunky. So I'll try to print out some pictures and include that in my travel journal. But I've just grabbed everything. Oh, the one thing that was really cool, they had an art auction on board where they had, art that you could buy, which I think would be, hi, Mary Lou, would be kind of, it was where I could understand most of them. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's not bad. And they had beautiful catalog of the artwork. So there was one catalog for each room. So I took both catalogs because it's always good to have two when they're printed on both sides so you can cut out, So I took both of those catalogs and they're pretty, let me get one. Oh, take me a second. This is the stuff that I took. And I don't think I'll be charged for this. I hope not. I doubt it. But there's the room service menu, and anyway, here's the catalog that I help myself to. Learn, bid, own, and enjoy. And it's filled with, nice artwork. And these are nice little pictures that would be easy to cut out and collage onto if you wanted to do a postcard type of collage. So these were the things that were up for auction or sale. I think they were a silent auction. So I got both of these. I really like this. And they have Peter Max on here too. Anyway. Oh, Peter Max. Yeah. Remember him? Peter Max, Beetle era. And they tell you the size and when it was done, but they don't have the price because I guess it's all going to be auctioned off. So I grabbed both of these because I could, and I did. So I will be cutting those up and using them at some point in time. We surprised Callum with a birthday room service breakfast for his birthday. And then, of course, at dinner, they brought out a little cake and sang him a happy birthday. And we docked. I felt the boat about 4 a.m. Monday morning. We docked, the boat docked back in Port Canaveral. And I have to say the disembarkment process was very, very organized. There was a location that you went to and you went through security again. You just had to show them your C-Pass card. They issued everybody like a little credit card. That basically, everyone got one of these with their name on it, and it says the package. I had the soda package, and the dining. Oh dear. All right. I'm sorry. Hang on. I'll tell her to message me. Can I call you later? All right. That's my bridge partner. Okay. So, hi, Marty. The new ads for Hulu look like they could have been made by. Oh, okay. Yeah, we watched a lot of Hulu. A lot of Modern Family when the kids were here, and Bob's Burger. They love Bob's Burger. And Modern Family. I forgot how funny Modern Family was, honestly. I really had forgotten that. It is very funny. And let's see. I'm putting the house back to order. It was, with one man and two boys who were not the neatest in the world, left, even though they thought they had picked up, they really didn't. Reed walked through the house with wet feet and socks, and I could see his footprints all across the tile floor, which I managed to wash yesterday. And that's as far as I got. And he put the sofa bed back together and put all the cushions on wrong, so I had to redo that. We folded up the cot that Callum was in, but Richard left the cot and the mattress that goes on top of it out in the hallway, so I had to carry that into the closet. It was very heavy. But the thing that I was most afraid of was that infamous 95-pound Helix mattress that I had bought. I told you that we took it out of the box and it like reinflated, and I didn't know how it was going to go back up, and Richard had put it up. And so when I walked into the guest room, he had already put the Murphy bed up, and he said it went up without a problem. So I was relieved of that. And I don't know. I mean, obviously I would never be able to pull it down. Yeah. Well, you are remodeling. I can't imagine. I had some friends that worked in construction, and he would buy houses and renovate them. So they were in constant remodel mode, and you're stepping over 2x4s and table saws. It is sawdust everywhere. Yeah, it's incredibly stressful. Aunt Bex has been working on a bathroom. I think now going on at least 2 years, and that's got to be hard. But I saw you ordered countertop, so I'm anxious to see that. That's kind of fun, but it is quite the process, and you have to live in it. You can't go somewhere else and come back when it's done, that's probably the worst part of it. So I understand that mess. We remodeled the kitchen. I remodeled the bathroom. I only had one bathroom when I remodeled the bathroom, but my ex-mother-in-law, they had like a mobile home on their lakefront property, and she was kind enough to allow me to stay in their mobile home while I remodeled my one and only bathroom in my house, which was very kind of her. Yeah, get to do that, right? Well, I watch it on TV shows. They go away and they come back. Oh, it's beautiful, Property Brothers. I love watching those shows, but in reality, most of us can't leave. But it will be nice, and I'm sure. Well, I've seen the pictures, so you've posted a lot of pictures of before and after, so that'll be fun to go back and look at. I'm involved in Beth Schuler's Twinchie exchange, and I don't think mine are gonna. Well, I have to work on them today, but I got my Twinchies from, and I didn't. Who's this one? Oh boy. I thought I had saved her. I think these are from Cindy Loves Jewelry, Cindy Lovin. And so 2 Twinchies, and here are her Twinchies, which are adorable. So here's her 2 Twinchies. And then you're supposed to 2 Twinchies and ephemera or art scraps or whatever. So she sent me an ATC and some really neat little pieces on a coloring page. So I got those from Cindy Lovin. Thank you, Cindy. I mean, she's not in here, but I can thank her anyway. And the other ones are from Artful Esther Thompson. So these are the 2 from Esther. These are so much fun to make. And then some goodies. And then I got some beautiful Happy Mail from Nettie. And look at this beautiful card that she made. Sending you happy thoughts. Is that card not gorgeous? And look at these beautiful ATCs. These are phenomenal, Nettie. I have to take a picture and post these on my Facebook page. They are gorgeous. And Nettie is the one that tuned me into cruising ducks. And again, that was so much fun. The one duck was from Colorado. The other duck was from someplace in Florida that I had never heard of. And the third one was, I think I showed that third one. I don't know whether you could see it on the stream Sunday, but it basically had a scan code, and it said buy the bride a drink. So we didn't do that, but I'd let the boys take their 3 ducks home. And one of the ducks we hid in the crux of a tree. Callum hid it in the crux of a tree. And about, I don't know, a couple of hours later, we walked by that same tree, and Callum wanted to see whether the duck was gone. The duck was gone, and someone had taken our duck and replaced it with their duck, which I thought was pretty cool. I hid mine in very obvious places. The boys were really trying to I said, you don't want to make it hard. You want people to find the ducks. But it's a thing. And again, I have to thank Nettie for that, because it was a lot of fun and the kids really got into it. So we filled them out, and if they would go, and I'd hand them a couple of ducks, and they would roam the decks. There were 16 decks on this ship. We were on the 12th deck. A little bit too big for me. I would think I would like a smaller cruise. This ship holds over 6,000 passengers. I don't think there were 6,000 on this cruise, but someone said there were about 5,500. There's a crew of 2,000, and I looked up what they make. It was interesting. You on average, they make $18 to $19 an hour, and you work 10 to 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week for your entire contract. And then when your contract is over, you have 6 months off, and then you can re-sign up. Isn't that amazing? 12 to 13 hours, 10 to 12 hours, 7 days a week. And then when they're done with their shift, they have their own dining hall and a crew bar where they can hang out. But you're in a small room with a roommate, and that's it. And they're all, I mean, there's staff everywhere, and they're all very friendly and helpful. So it was interesting to see the amount of, the staff. The rooms were impeccably taken care of. You know, we had twin beds. It was the king size bed, and they separated them into 2 twins for both rooms. And we had adjoining rooms. Now, the only glitch was that our balcony had a permanent wall between the 2 balconies, so we couldn't open that door and expand our balcony. And our rooms were the only 2 rooms that had that permanent wall. Every other single balcony up and down the ship all had a door that could be unlatched and open. So I don't know. There's no way of telling that when you looked at the deck map, but I mean, that's a minor complaint. And no, it was pretty awesome. And again, we could have done a lot more than we did, and that was our choice. You know, the show that they were putting on this cruise was Mamma Mia, and they had like a Cirque du Soleil type of show, and they had an ice skating show, and they had an ice skating rink, but Callum couldn't use it because we didn't know you had to have long pants to ice skate, and he didn't bring long pants, so he couldn't go ice skating. And rock climbing, they attempted to rock climb. The rock climb was, I would say, maybe 3 stories, maybe 30 feet high. Yeah, 5,000 is a lot of, it is. Now, the big ship is huge, and everyone's kind of spread out. And even when we were getting off the ship, that went rather quickly. Again, there was a lot of walking, and I don't do well with a lot of walking. I'm walking as fast as I can, and they are way ahead of me, and I can't keep up with them. Now, Reed would come back and walk with me. He would kind of keep me company because I couldn't keep up with Rich and Callum. And they were walking, I'm sure, slow for them. So again, you've got to be able to, I mean, I could have been in a wheelchair, but I just, I'm not there, you know. I use a wheelchair at Disney. Anyway, all in all, it was a fun time. I think everyone had a great time. And it just happened to be Callum's birthday. That was not the plan, you know. It just happened to turn out to be on his birthday. So, okay, I was watching Dee Dee this morning, and her showing all of her stuff, all of her notebooks, and I have the 600-page sketchbook, and I have some collages in it, but they're all wrinkly and not smooth. So, but this is a book that I made. I made this loose leaf. I took apart a loose leaf. And then there's a paper bag here. You can hear it. And I took the loose leaf apart. And this is Seth's After paper. And I have all different, this is all packaging that I'm going to collage over. I've done this before. I have a huge book that I did this before. So I'm going to kind of work in this and chat with you guys. Now, unfortunately for Richard and boys, I took them to the airport yesterday, dropped them off at noon. Their flight was at 1:30. Yes, isn't that beautiful? It's cloth, it's fabric. Drop them on, and this is all stitched on my sewing machine. Drop them off at noon, and I felt so sorry for them. He posted a picture of the boys like laying on the floor in the airport, and Richard Reed across some seats, and they were delayed. Initially, they were delayed 3 hours because of lightning around the Orlando airport. Then they sent them to another terminal on the other side of the airport to get on another flight. And when they got there was engine trouble with that plane, and that flight was canceled. So they were supposed to take off at 1:30. They didn't take off until 8:15 last night. So they must have been exhausted. And it's a 4 or 5 hour flight. They were flying to Salt Lake City. And with a layover, it wasn't a direct flight. So, I take that back. They were stuck in, not Orlando. They were stuck in Dallas, DFW, Dallas Fort Worth Airport. That's where they got stuck for 3 hours. No, that's nothing's worse. But I guess it was lightning in Fort Worth. I guess I thought it was Orlando. I've had that problem where you've landed in Orlando and then there's lightning and then they won't unload the luggage and you'll wait. I've waited as long as like an hour and a half for luggage because they couldn't get the luggage off the plane because of lightning. And because in Florida, there's lightning, in the afternoon almost every day. That's just, Oh, and I didn't do it yet, but I will. My prayer tags that Richard hung last week have withstood several afternoon thunderstorms, which entailed high wind and pouring down rain, and they are still hanging, even though the tags are out of tag material, like manila. But I attached them with a piece of cloth, and they're still hanging out there. So I'll take a picture and post them and put the date on them. But they've withstood the weather so far. I don't know how they'll withstand a big storm. I hate to say the word, so you know what I'm talking about. All right, let me pull out some pictures. And see, the nice thing about a loose leaf is you can take it out, right? And you can work on it. So let's work on this because I got a little flippy floppy. I love flippy floppies. So this is just all my packaging, as you can see. Biscotta. And breakfast bars and macaroni. This is one of those tissue boxes. And some of the prints on these tissue boxes are just beautiful. So I'll have to figure out. I could punch holes here. Or, well, I'll have to figure that out. I won't want to do that now. I want to do some gluing. Like, here's a page that I did. I've had this picture for years, and I just loved it. I finally glued it down. Here's another picture. I'm probably going to add stuff here. Little crinkly. Here's a finished one I did. And more crinkly. Here's some other things I have to add. I do. Let's see. Here's some cream toast with some guys behind it. Yep, that's that one. And I don't think I've done any others. I've got some pictures here. So, all right. But this is a lot of fun. If you can just cut up packaging. I gesso this. I normally don't gesso, but maybe I'm gonna. I had a plan. I don't know. Anyway, whoops. Let's work on one instead of me just chattering away. I would like to go on a much smaller cruise, but I think all of these cruise ships are mega. The Royal Caribbean is called the Oasis class, and they've just launched a new ship, which is another class altogether. Oh, thumbs up would be awesome, guys. I would so appreciate that. So here's a little one I did. I don't know what this was, but whatever it is, it's no longer. I don't know. So there's a collage there. I love these characters. They appear in Vogue magazine. Yep. So, and then here's a belly band. So stick that in there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I love this Seth Apter. It's gorgeous. All right. We'll put this down here. Let's grab this and see what we can make. I like her. She's pretty, but I might want to. Can she wear some jeans? Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, let's stick this here, and then we'll add stuff to it. And this is stuff that I have cut out. I've got tons of collage fodder. I guess they don't call it collage fodder, do they? What do they call it if they don't call it fodder? Fodder. Did Pam come in? Oh, bye, Kathy. Thanks for being here. Okay. I use these plastic envelopes too. And they're all full. I bought 25 of them, and I'm embarrassed to say that they're all filled, and they're not organized, and I like that. Isn't that pretty? You see that? It's kind of pretty. Let's see. Let me glue this down. Find a glue stick. I'm out of practice. Not that you need practice to glue, but I haven't glued anything. It seems like forever since I worked and did anything. That's not true. I did one Twinchy last Thursday, but I've got 5 more to do and get them in the mail as soon as possible. So there's really nothing else new except that I'm slowly getting the house back in order. I don't really like this, so I'm not going to use it. I don't have to use it, right? How about this? And ooh, how about this? That looks good. Oh, I can wrap that around. I'll wrap that around. Do that there. I've got this big clock. I love watches. I should have left that up so I can stick something. Oh, I can stick something underneath that. Let's see. How about an I? See you. Stick that under there like so. See what I'm doing? Yeah, you can. Ooh. Do that. Put a little something there. Okay. I think that looks good. All right, let's glue that down. I gotta glue this down first. All right, let me do. Still pretty happy. I'm still happy with this Doris glue stick. I definitely will order them again. Come in a case of 12. And the box that they come in, they snap into like a little thingy that makes a great stamp. I've already used it as a stamp. I love it when packaging can be reused as something else. That's so cool. And I'm thinking most people wouldn't even look at it, you know, in terms of being reused. Okay, where did it go? Oh, there it is. How could I miss that, right? It's pretty colorful. Let's lift this up. Stick this here. And stick this down here. And stick this here. Yeah, when I looked at that 600-page sketchbook, and the pages are horribly wrinkled because, again, as Dee Dee said, it's printer paper. It's very thin. Stick a skyline there, maybe there, maybe something like this. Oh, that works, yeah. And I have other little stuff that I can add. I've got the eye, and this is a little thing I made a while ago. So, oh, here's a person. I love people. This is an ad for, I can't see that. They have a podcast, and it's called Women Who Travel. And this is a picture of one of the ladies. And the sticker there. Let me stick this down. This will go down first. Let me just put glue on this, okay? Oh, that's going to be the back side. Well, that's okay. I have to do both sides anyway. That's okay. And I will cut and trim that. We have an eye. Maybe the eye should go over here since it's this orientation of the eye. I need a little something there. And I've got little tiny stuff. Let me stick the eye there. By the time the floors were, when I was cleaning up, first thing I did is, it's called Darice, DARICE. They made a lot of embossing folders. I used to get their embossing folders at Tuesday mornings all the time. And they make stencils too. I'm assuming, well, yeah. I'm extremely happy with the product, I have to say. All right. This is one of my little characters, so I'm going to cut him out and stick him down. And I think you get 12 sticks when you buy it. It's like a little case of them. I've tried Oohoo, and of course the one that everyone still loves is the Elmer's Extreme. And for some reason, they've decided that it is extreme too, and the price of it is extreme, and it's hard to find. And it's like over $3 a stick. And I don't know why it became how and why it became so precious, except maybe the crafting community, as we do when we find a product and we share it with everybody, then people start buying it, and then that product, supply and demand. And sometimes I guess we are our own worst enemy when we endorse a product, because everybody, we have some awesome enablers in amongst us. I could do a stream just on the books that I was inspired to buy through Dee streams. Like I could spend an enormous amount of time going through all of the books. And I haven't, regretted a single purchase. I think I told you, I actually went back and I was able to buy all of Nick Bantock's Sabine. Hi, Gail. Hi, Joyce. The Griffin and Sabine and the Griffin, is that it? The story of the correspondence. I went back and was able to get them all. I bought them used. And I just love his artwork, and the whole story is just so compelling. And Rosemary Morris did that as one of her many different side groups that she has. They did a theme of that you picked a partner and you wrote to them, like a story. And I think they gave you an outline for a story. Mine was about two sisters. One sister was handicapped and the other sister was not. And the sister that was not was going to travel and write about it for her sister that couldn't travel. So that was the premise. And of course, you could travel anywhere. So I had my sister on the train meeting up with a couple that had a couple of small children, and they were going to, I think, Sicily, and they needed a nanny. So this girl said, "Oh, well, I can do that." So she signs on with this family, and then my story goes from there. But in the meantime, she's writing her sister all about Sicily and the family and the kids that she's taking care of, and that was my kind of thing. That was my story. And then you send postcards or letters. Hi, Monkey 911. Just stick him there. Good to see you again. I think I saw you Sunday. You brave the high seas. The weather was, yeah, very calm in terms of the ship. You could not feel the ship move. Maybe a little bit. I mean, I felt like kind of a little bit of a tremble Monday morning when they were docking. He was probably using his starboard motors to come inside to the dock. Oh, another funny thing happened. Yeah, I don't know why my computer is not charging. It's just not charging. And it makes no sense because it's plugged in all around. I've got wires everywhere. But let me just give me a sec. I'm going to unplug it from this. And man, plug it in directly. Let's see what happens here. Okay. I think that's going to hold. Okay. Oh, another neat thing happened. It was Sunday, right? And I had gone back to the room and I was setting up for the stream. You know, I was trying to situate the table so I wasn't in the broiling sun. And so I was standing at the railing of the balcony, and there was a woman 3 cabins down was leaning over her balcony, and she kind of waved to me, and it looked like she was doing sign language. And I think she was trying to tell me that she couldn't hear me because I guess I had said hi. And then she informed me that she was drunk. And I said, oh, that's great. I mean, that's what you do, when you go on a cruise. If you want to get drunk, you get drunk. And she turned out, we had ended up having this shouting match of a conversation. She is a huge cruiser. This was her 3rd cruise of the year. I don't know how anyone affords that. And she just booked it like a week before. I guess if you wait around, and then if they have an empty room, I guess they're more than willing to give you a real deal. And I think if I did a cruise again, I would do that, if you're flexible. So anyway, as we're talking, what appeared to be a police boat approached the cruise ship, right? And I was kidding her. I said, oh my God, here come the police. Are they after you? And she said, no, they're not after me. And she said, we were laughing about that. And all of a sudden, this boat, I would guess probably a 25 foot cruiser, right? Painted yellow, writing on the side, comes up and actually comes right up alongside of the cruise ship. Now they have these gigantic orange pods. They're enclosed pods that are the lifeboats, and they're huge. They hold 260 people. I can't imagine how terrifying it would be to be in one of those. But beside that, this boat comes in, and all of a sudden it disappears underneath where the lifeboats are, because the lifeboats are hanging up on the side of the ship. And this boat comes in, and all of a sudden it disappears. And I'm going, oh my God, what's going on? That was the boat that picks up the pilot. A pilot boards the cruise ship, pilots the boat out of the Nassau harbor. And after they clear the rock jetty and they clear the harbor, then this pilot boat comes up right alongside the cruise ship. And the pilot literally, they put down a little gangplank, and he literally walks across a little gangplank and then gets onto the pilot ship boat, and then they right away. And I you've seen that on TV shows. Okay, I've never seen it before. I saw it live, and of course I should have videoed it, but I didn't. But I was like, what? So she was there to explain the piloting. I mean, I know they have pilots, and there were tugboats that came out too. But it was fascinating. I had never seen anything like that, and I really thought it was a police boat. And of course, it didn't have police painted on the side of the hull. It had pilot painted on the side of the hull. So, but that was pretty cool to see live happening, you know. So that was an exciting. And I was trying to explain it to my grandsons, and they were looking at me like I had two heads. Like, what the hell is she talking about? But anyway, how about a little Asian Spanish? And my oldest grandson, these kids have a really, I'd have to say, a very varied palate. They're willing to try anything. At least Reed is. So my son Richard had never had escargot, and they had escargot as an appetizer. And so he ordered the snails, and he gave one to Reed, and he ate it. And because the snails were smothered in butter and garlic, and as Richard said, nothing can be bad in butter and garlic. And so Reed ate it, and he said it kind of tastes like a mushroom, and that's what Richard said. The texture was very mushroomy-like, and again, it was slattered in, floating in butter and garlic. So he enjoyed that. I had some Indian food. Reed had pasta bolognese, which is, the famous Italian meat sauce from Bologna, and he liked that. Callum, the 11-year-old, had steak both nights. Chimichurri steak one night and just a New York strip. And he tucked right into that. He got the steak knife and he cut that up. And he's the type, and I don't know, some people cut up everything and then into small pieces and then eat it after it's all been cut up. I kind of cut and eat. How many of you cut like everything up and then eat? I think that's just the style, right? So you see how I'm adding little bits of stuff here and there. And this is, I made a whole bunch of these. I have, well, I'll stick it on. I cut as I go. Yeah, I do too, Joyce. And maybe that's just, but he did it. I have to tell you, I was really impressed how well he cut up his steak. And it was beautifully cooked. He told the waiter that he wanted medium rare. And it was medium rare. It was beautifully cooked. And I was trying to describe to him what chimichurri sauce was. I said, it's like the national sauce of Brazil. And he was saying, I know. And I said, okay. You cut everything up first? Yeah, that's interesting. It's just a style. It's just a style of how we tuck in, or so to speak, how we attack our meals. It's interesting. All right, so that's one card. Let's flip it over and do the other side. So that'll fold like though. And then maybe I'll find something. Oh, we could stick her there. She's sitting there drinking her coffee, looking at the skyline. On the other thing, they were here. They arrived Monday, so they were here several nights before we went on the cruise on Friday, right? So planned a menu. We went to the club for Taco Tuesday buffet, and they chowed down on that. But I don't cook for a lot of people anymore. I'm not used to cooking for a lot of people, let alone people that have huge appetites. I didn't make enough food, and I was so embarrassed. I did a barbecued pork tenderloin. Monday night, and I cooked a whole tenderloin. I marinated it and barbecue, recipe, whatever. And I did 2 steamer bags full of jasmine rice because I love jasmine rice. I did big head of fresh broccoli because I love broccoli, which I think is awesome. And it wasn't enough. I know. Oh, you're sorting out supper. Well, you must relate to what I'm saying. Well, I'm sure you cook enough. I didn't cook enough. I took hardly anything, and there was nothing left, and they were still hungry. So you know what they ended up eating? Toast. They made themselves toast, and they chowed down on several slices of buttered toast. And I said, "Oh my God, this is so embarrassing." So, and of course, on the cruise there was a bread basket, and I remember when I was growing up, there was a family of 5 children and mom and dad called the Hutterfords, and I loved hanging out with them because they were this big rowdy family, and their dinner meals were just awesome. But Helen Hutterford, mom, always literally had, I would say, a half a loaf of Wonder Bread on the table, and they would chow down. So I think when I come again and I'm cooking, meals again, I will make sure I have like Parker House rolls or some sort of bread sauce to supplement the dinner, um, like they do on the cruise ship. But I felt so bad. I mean, they didn't care. They were kind of laughing, but so fill them up with bread. That was my father-in-law's concern when he would take the boys out for dinner, and they would immediately grab the bread, and he would say, "Don't fill up on bread." That was a standing joke. And they ate all that bread and had no trouble eating their dinner, so it didn't interfere with them eating their dinner. But I think that'll be my solution. I know, and I just didn't. Well, I mean, when Reed went in first to fix his plate, right? And he must have grabbed. I had 2 pork tenderloins, well, a long one cut in half. So there was one tenderloin about yay big, right? And another tenderloin about the same length. And Reed was the first to help himself, and I had it sliced on a cutting board. And he took the tongs, and he literally took half of the tenderloin on this plate and didn't think anything of it. But they ate it all. I mean, so, and then one night I made spaghetti and meatballs. I didn't make the spaghetti. I think I talked about this. I didn't make the meatballs. I bought them frozen. I cheated. I was supposed to make pizza for them, but we never got around to it. So I think I'm going to make pizza for myself. They had thin crust pizza, buy one, get one free at the Publix. So I like a real thin crust. Oh, they had Sorrento's pizza on the ship. They had a lot of like little restaurants. I mean, they had specialty restaurants that you had to pay extra for, but Sorrento's pizza was free, and it was very good. It was a nice thin New York style pizza, and you could go there and get pizza any time of the day. So we did that. The boys were always getting pizza. And then of course, Callum literally was on first name basis with the soft serve ice cream guy. I don't know how many ice cream cones he had, but it seemed like every time I turned around, he was walking around with an ice cream cone. I think he was having them as soon as they opened up at the end of the cruise. Richard gave him some money to go tip the guy. It's funny. And of course, the very last night of the cruise, that's when Reed finally kind of ventures out. I mean, he had been out, but he made some friends. So he hung out with these friends the last night of the cruise. And Richard had given him a curfew, said he had to be back in the room by by 10. And I had gone to bed, and I was still awake, but I was in bed, and I'm wondering where he is. And apparently Richard got concerned and went off looking for him, and Reed showed up about 10:30, and then we told him that his dad was out looking for him, and Reed said, "Oh shit." I'm thinking, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And then Richard got back, and he wasn't angry. Yes, I know. I don't want him to be. Reed is very tall and very lanky. He's all legs, arms, and big feet. Callum's a little pudgy, and he's the one that's eating all the ice cream. So, to keep an eye on him. So he didn't get in too much trouble. He was around 13 when he was staying at a scared. Oh, I'm sure. It's terrifying, you know? And of course, they feel, oh, no one's going to hurt us, you know, we'll run away. Well, you know, but just, anyway. The other thing Reed did that was not funny. Everyone had gone to bed, and he gets on his cell phone and he starts talking to a friend, and he's in international waters. Next thing, Mom gets a notice from T-Mobile or whatever the company is. He had been on $350 worth of phone calls. And he said, I didn't know. And he probably didn't know. And I don't know whether there was a warning that popped up. And if there was, a typical kid probably wouldn't even have noticed the warning. So, being the grandma, what did I do? Because I know that his mom doesn't have $350 hanging around. I know they don't, So I offered to pay the bill because I can. And obviously he was grateful, and so was his mom. They were extremely grateful. And so yesterday, I think it was yesterday, his phone was turned back on. But I have to say, throughout the cruise, we did a lot of walking, and I couldn't really keep up with him, but Reed always stayed behind and walked with me so I wouldn't be walking alone. He's 13. And, he's 13. Well, fortunately I could do that. If I couldn't do it, I couldn't do it. And still waiting to get a final amount from Kelly, his mom. But and she said to me, thank you so much, because she said we didn't really know how we were going to handle it. But the last night we were here. Oh yeah, he's very young. I mean, he's a very mature kid, you know what I mean? But 13-year-old boy, even if there was a notice, maybe a little drop-down notice that may have appeared briefly, he probably wouldn't have noted that. He did say once when he was talking to a friend in Canada, a drop down thing said, welcome to Canada. So he knew he was texting in Canada. Hi, Nettie. Thank you so much for your lovely card. I showed everybody your card and your beautiful ATCs that you made. Oh, just gorgeous. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Yes, we're back. And everybody loved the ducks, the finding them and the hiding of them. We hid all 24 ducks. So they are hid. And as far as we know, they were all found. Because the boys went back to see whether they were found or not. And they were. Oh, I love that. Kind of like that. That can go there. All right. I think that's going to work. I kind of like this too. It's fast. But honestly, for a first cruise for the kids, I think a 3-day is probably the right amount of time. I don't know. I guess if yes. Well, I've seen some people that crocheted them. They actually made crocheted ducks, which I thought was pretty awesome. Let's see. And you can decorate your doors, which I didn't know. If I had known that, I would have brought stuff to, put happy birthday Callum on our door. Everything is metal, so you could use magnets and stuff. And I saw a lot of doors that were decorated for birthdays and anniversaries. And as we walked down the hallways, a lot of them were decorated. Doors were decorated. I didn't find any ducks, but Richard did. I guess Callum did. He found a duck where he had put one of our ducks. Someone had taken our duck and replaced it with their duck. So it was fun. I would have never known about that. And I really appreciate you giving us the heads up on that. And their website is really, and we took pictures. I think we took pictures and posted them on the website. I hope so. I have pictures. I can post them on the website. Well, I guess I did because someone commented on the Facebook thing about me. It's been around for, that cruising ducks thing has been around for a long time. But whoever thought that up was really brilliant. I think I'm just going to finish this one, and I don't know. I haven't seen Aunt Bex. I don't know whether she's coming on or not. I like that, but whoops, I stuck that to that. I think I'm going to use a bigger piece of a bigger page because I don't want to lose that much of the, even though that kind of looks cool there. Yeah, I might save that for a bigger board, so to speak. All right, let me cut this off here. No, I have no bridge. I can play on Wednesday mornings. Oh, okay. Thank you, Safia. Huh. I didn't catch her this morning, and I was up early. I normally get a drop-down notice. I have to go back. There. All right, then I won't feel it. Okay, then hang on a couple of minutes longer. Those people are not too bored. Ooh. See, these little pictures came out of a cruise catalog, cruise line. They used to send me these gorgeous catalogs for years. Okay, bye, Gail. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I don't like that. Ooh, kind of reminds me of the cruise. Yeah, Richard took a beautiful picture of the sunset. Let's stick this. I'll stick that there. I'm just going to lay it out before I glue it all down. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's interesting. I don't want to lose the bike. It looks like Japanese painting of some sort, I guess would be. I'm going to stick that there, and then stick this like here. Yeah. Stay. Okay. And, ooh, how about a little Zeus? Right there. This looks like someplace in the Caribbean. We did not go ashore in Nassau. I didn't, if they had had some sort of like tour, I would have taken a, hi, bye, Marty. I would have taken a tour of Nassau, because I would love to see the, the houses and the architecture, all of that. And I think it would be very colorful like this is. I was trying to describe to Reed the British influence. I'm so sorry, man. And I feel ignorant. Does anybody, Nassau, is the Bahamas free? I mean, they're independent. Are they still a colony of Great Britain? I don't know whether they have are independent of Great Britain. I don't remember. Hi, Yolande. Good to see you. I'm going to stick this over here. I'm embarrassed because I don't know that. My ignorance is showing. Oops. Maybe this could go down here. Okay. I'll have to Google that, because I honestly, I don't remember now whether they, a lot of those. I'm not happy with this, folks. I'm sorry for all this fiddling, but I'm going to try to lift this up. And not successfully. It's all right. Yeah. Well, that's okay. And I can put something in there. All right. I can't lift that up anymore because it tore. And I don't want to, just leave it. Well, just leave it, Ann. Just leave it. Leave it. Everything's sticking to me. Did I stick this down? Yeah, I did. Okay. And it is hot again today. Can't think of anything else. I told you about the pilot boat. That was really cool. The food was good. I mean, the menu was changed a little every night. We only had dinner twice in the main dining room, and then we tried the buffet. And the buffet was a buffet. You know what I mean? Nothing to get excited about. It's called the Windjammer. And then we had a sit down breakfast. 1973. Okay, all right. Thank you, Nettie. So they've been independent. Well, let me just say this: when we pulled in, we were the first cruise liner to pull into Nassau Harbor, and then after we pulled in, I would say probably a half an hour later, a Carnival ship pulled in on the other side of the pier, right? About another half an hour, another Carnival ship pulled in next to that Carnival ship. About a half an hour later, a very much smaller class Royal Caribbean ship pulled in next to the two Carnivals. So you have a Carnival, a Royal Caribbean. After that, another ship pulled in, another Celebrity X cruise line pulled in. So now there are Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity X, Royal Caribbean, our ship, and then behind us was another ship. So there are 5 ships. That's thousands of people bringing in thousands of dollars into the Bohemian economy. It was amazing, one right after the other. And we were the first to leave. We left. It was busy, incredibly busy. And we set sail at 3:30 in the afternoon, Sunday afternoon. And again, we docked around 4 a.m. in Port Canaveral. And he was booking it, because I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't sleep. So I went out on the balcony, and he was cranking, because you could just see the big white waves coming off the waves, white caps coming off the side of the ship, because he was going fast. And we had a brief rain. It was kind of cute, because we had a brief rain shower with a rainbow. And I said to Callum, look, that's your birthday rainbow. So he thought that was cool. Let's see what I'm doing. That's not nice of me. How rude of me. Let's see what I'm doing. Look at this clock. Is this not cool? This is a Swiss-made Richard Mille clock. It's a cool watch. Speaking of watches, I just saw an elastic watch band for an Apple Watch, because I have the plastic one and it's not comfortable. So I might look into getting a plastic one. All right, let me cut this here. An elastic band around my iWatch. Man, I don't know why well, it seems to be charging now. All right, let me stick this down. I think the only thing we probably would do different if we do this again would be a different time of year. It just was just too. Christmas would be crazy, right? I mean, I can't imagine what Christmas would be like, how crowded it would be on Christmas. I mean, really, the first week in June is like, what's that? It's nothing, right? All the kids are still in school in the northern part of the United States. All of the kids, there's still quite a few kids still in school. Callum and Reed were out of school, and they live in Utah. But I can't imagine what it would be like at Christmas time or Thanksgiving time. But I don't think we would do more than 3 days, I would like to do a Panama Canal cruise. I'd like to go through the Panama Canal or an Alaskan cruise. I don't think you'd have to worry about being too hot on an Alaskan cruise. I don't think that would be a problem. I don't think, at least, it would be a problem. Let's stick that there and cut half of it off. That's going to be fine. All right. Because I put the glue on the wrong side. Of course you did. It wouldn't be me if I... that works. All right. I can cut that off. Let me trim this up. Okay, and then we're getting there. Oh, Holland America? Okay. Yeah, the only other cruise line I'd ever been on was a Norwegian cruise line, and it was I think a 7-day Eastern Caribbean cruise 42 years ago. And we set sail out of Baltimore. And at the time, we were living outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And we set sail out of Baltimore, as I recall. Okay. All right. Just got this to do. Got a hot air balloon here. I can go here. And it's a sticker. I don't know how I made it a sticker or why, but let's use it as a sticker. And let's cut it out a little bit. Cut it out. Yolanda, you on this afternoon at 2:30? Are you going to razzle and dazzle us with some jelly printing? Okay. Oh, that's nice. 7 days. That's awesome. That is nice. And 3 ports of call. Okay, that's going to be very nice. Well, we went to, they have, again, Coco Cay. And they had the water theme park and snorkeling. And again, it was way, I mean, it just was like, the heat was oppressive for me. And it had one of those wave things. Oh, well, I think you always provide razzle and dazzle. I love watching you guys. Well, you and people that know what they're doing. Last week I love the cat that you did. I caught that. I guess the boys had gone to the zoo and I was home alone. And I think I went. Didn't you do the transfer the cat? And then you had a couple of other transfers. They came out really cool. I shouldn't say never successful. Occasionally I will have a transfer and it's almost like a mistake, like, oh my gosh, it worked. But the thing I noticed is that when you do the transfer, you put down your black paint, as you know, and then you put your image down and then you kind of rub it down and then you remove it almost immediately. And that's what I wasn't doing. I think that had a lot a part of what my problem was. I wasn't pulling the image off quick enough. $2:30 Eastern. Okay. Happy Wednesday to you, Barbara. I'm finishing up here. I'm trying to get this sticker separated. Pretty sure it's a sticker. Sure looked like a sticker. Maybe it wasn't a sticker. Maybe it just faked me out. I'm not gonna fight with it because my hands are all sticky. Thought it was a sticker. Maybe not. Well, we'll stick it down with glue. What the heck? Doesn't matter. As long as it gets stuck down somehow. Stick that. And stick that here. Like so. And get rid of this little. Oh, I know I should have done with that. Oh, well. It's not going to stick because it's sticker paper. Yeah. All right, I'll work with that. I'll fuss with that later. Okay. One more quickie. Like that. Ooh, like that. That looks cool. How about that? That looks very good. The black on the white. Yeah. I like that. Okay, let's do that. We'll put glue on this. Glue on this. You can stick that on there like that. And we'll put some glue on this. And then we'll call it a day. And I still have to wash, do the guest room floors, the porch, and the kitchen. I only got as far as the living room. And then I ran out of steam yesterday. And I'm still tired. And I have, lucky me, I have a dentist appointment at 4. Hi, Janet. No, I'll just leave that there. I was very tempted to cancel the dentist appointment, but I might as well just go and get it over with. It's just a cleaning. What annoys me the most about the cleaning is the sound of the tool. Yep. Took them to the airport yesterday. They ran into some serious delays. And I guess in Dallas, Fort Worth, they had a layover, and it ended up being a really long layover. So I don't know what time they got home. He hasn't told me that yet. All right. So we just did a little collage on one of the boards that are going to go into that book that I made. So we get rid of that. Got some rogue pieces here. Get out of here. Get out of here. So a little collage here, and then a little flippy, and another little collage. I'm probably going to add some more stuff in here. So, well, thank you guys for being here and keeping me company on this wonderful, wonderful Hub Wednesday, middle of the week. And I'll see you out on the internets, I am sure, or on Sunday. So thank you. Thumbs up as you leave. Give me the finger as you walk out. That would be awesome. I would appreciate that. Okay. There it is. I can't find it. My fingers are all sticky. There it is. So if you can't be good, be careful. And be interesting. Bye all. And remember, Yolande's on at 2:30.